Hey guys, my name is Moon and welcome back for more Tsukihime, A Piece of Blue Glass Moon. So last time, Shiki seemingly woke up to a normal morning with Akiha, with Hisui, with Kohaku, and then things changed, I guess, when he went to school as, yes, he met the girl that he thought he killed, right? And yeah, they had the conversation there. She said that she was a vampire and all of that stuff. And yeah, let us continue. We actually don't know her name yet, so I'm very curious to find out what her name is. So let's go. In that moment, I see a different pair of glowing eyes staring back at me. My entire body tenses up again. Strength returns to my overtaxed legs, and I force myself up from my seated position into a crouch. The woman following my gaze turns to look at what has appeared in the entrance of the alleyway. Behind her. Dude, what is that? A panther? Yeah, it looks like a panther. Is a creature even more out of its place in a human city than a vampire in front of me. The woman looks perfectly calm, but I'm struggling to wrap my head around the situation right now. That's a panther. I know that much. Even a child would be able to tell what an animal it is. But you wouldn't see one outside of a picture book or a cage in a zoo. I mean, especially in the city like this, right? And somehow here I am, experiencing just how terrifying the beast is firsthand, all without anything to protect me. It stands on four lean, powerful limbs. Muscle that seems as supple as rubber, yet hard as steel. Its form is far removed from that of a human being. This is a creature built for the sole purpose of hunting its prey. Simply seeing it awakens my primal instincts that should have been cast away in the Stone Age. We might both be living creatures, but this panther is in another league. Its superior abilities leave me breathless. It's not something I can put into words. This creature and I can't coexist in the same world, much less communicate with one another. The Black Panther's body measures over 1 meter in length. Even a dog that size could easily take down a human. And here it is eyeing me, in the woman in white, vicious claws, fangs and all, with barely 5 meters between us.
ねえ、あれ、あなたの知り合い？
わけあるか!
I can't help but snap back at something so crazy. I'm an idiot. As if taking my voice as a signal, the panther leaps in our direction. No, that's not right. It's running, but it's going so fast. I thought it had leaped at us instead. I can't do anything. The black blur's fangs will sink into my shoulder before I even have the time to process its movement. I can see it. I am keenly aware of how this will all end 1 second from now, but the thought of dodging or moving away doesn't even register. But the blow comes from my side instead. The woman in white shoves me away before the shadowy creature has the chance to bite me. An effortless swipe of her hand is all it takes. At her touch, I'm flung across the alley as easily as someone might throw a ball, and then I go crashing into the wall. I grit my teeth as I slam into the wall back first. Pain shoots up through my spine. Where's his knife, by the way? The woman shouts at me. I look up expecting the beast to have crashed into the wall behind me. Instead, Having lost sight of its target, the panther reacts instantly by spinning in the air and planting its feet onto the wall. From there, it leaps at the opposite wall. The creature latches itself to the side of the building. Just as it seems to have found its footing, it turns its glowing gaze at me once more. My breath is still caught after the chaos. The panther pushes off against a wall and leaps at me like lightning falling from the sky. The woman places herself into its trajectory, deflecting the incoming bolt with a single hand. She's even faster than the panther, her slender frame even more graceful. It's frightening, unnerving even.
ちょっと私の方が先約だってわかるでしょ。あんまり聞き分けがないと殺しちゃうわよ。
The woman's disposition hasn't changed a bit. As if heading her threat or heeding her threat, the panther cautiously backs away. There's around 3 meters of space between the two of them now. The panther keeps its distance. It must have realized a difference in their abilities during their brief clash. To a human, that panther is no doubt a monster, a beast that could easily slay any human it meets. But that woman is on a whole another level. A woman or a monster among monsters. I say a woman among monsters. No. A demon that could easily slay any monster it meets. The panther sits absolutely still as it observes the woman. Even I can tell how badly outclassed it is. The woman must seem like some insurmountable wall when viewed from the eyes of the apex predator.
要件は後で聞いてあげるから私の邪魔を。
The atmosphere around the woman changes. The panther hadn't rattled her in the slightest, but the very air around her seems sharper than before. What was that? Humans? Oh, no, it doesn't look like people though. There is no mistaking it. A group of strangers is making their way down the alley. They're walking at a leisurely pace through the dimly lit back street, ambling right in our directions.
ダメだ、来るな！ここには氷が！
I try to tell them a panther is on the loose. But as I do, red currents flash across my vision. I rub my eyes beneath my glasses. Just now, oh no, what is that? Yeah, they look like burn. Not like they got burned and then they were revived. Yeah, something like that. Burnt corpses? I see something terrible. They keep coming. They possess neither the feral instincts nor the pride of the panther. They lurch forward, completely disregarding the woman in white, as well as the fact that another few steps forward will doom them. But why would they? These creatures have no brain to think, nor a heart to feel fear. They aren't alive, they can't be. They're engulfed in flame, black smoke billowing from their eyes and mouth, and yet they keep moving forward. They're dead. They have to be. Their hands are outstretched as if they were seeking salvation, but from their fingertips drips a thick oil. The drops of oil splash into tongues of flame as they hit the ground. Even from this distance, I realize that the oil-like substance must be their stagnant blood. The woman in white focuses her attention at the things before her. But I actually haven't, I forgot to increase her volume. Yeah. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Alright, there we go. Other ones? This, what is this? Okay, there we go. Two of the three cadavers reach for her. Yeah, cadavers. The last one turns in my direction and leers at me with its burning sockets as I stand there dumbstruck. It's got me. The panther uses the fatally short window to strike. It's even faster than the last time it leaped. This time, I didn't even register it moving. The panther bears its weight against me as if trying to push me over and runs its incisors down my neck. A tightness grips my throat. There's a constricting sensation at the nape of my neck. It's not my skin, though the collar of my school uniform is being bitten and pulled. I am pushed against the wall again. I've been dragged into a dark corner of the alley. The panther roughly presses me into the heap of piles of garbage.
お前な、人をゴミ扱いすんな!
What am I even doing? I'm berating the panther as it has me pinned down. But for whatever reason, it decides not to follow through with its attack. Perhaps the beast realizes it has bigger problems to deal with. Hidden behind some of the waste, I sit up and peer over at the woman. The smoldering dead are brave enough to get within 3 meters of the woman, a feat even the panther dared not try. And the moment they do, the very air wails in agony. The burst of wind from the woman's arm slicing through the air cuts through her targets like a bulldozer, leaving not a trace of the 3 bodies. My head hurts. It feels like tiny thorns are bouncing within my eye sockets. A painful red sensation is jabbing at me like knives, like it were trying to deny all I'd just seen.
もう、また無駄な体力を使っちゃったじゃない。
With a resigned shrug of her shoulders, the woman turns to me. She doesn't look like she holds the slightest interest in the corpses she just eradicated.
これもあなたがグズグズしていたからよ。早く決めてくれれば見つかることもなかったのに。
The woman boldly walks over to me as I sit half stunned on the ground. The panther is long gone. It must have taken one look at the scene just now and decided it wanted none of it. The woman was simply far too strong. Yeah, this is the actual apex predator.
おい、今の、なんだ?
My headache is concentrated behind my eyes. The pain searing through my cranium seems to be throwing off whatever part of my brain controls my speech. What the hell is this woman?
何ってただの死者でしょ。敵の吸血鬼の使い魔よ。ちょっと珍しいというか初めて見るタイプだったけど。
そうじゃない。お前の話だ。
The sharp stinging in my head is begging for some sense of normalcy. She's a monster. The out-of-place panther and those impossible flaming corpses, even if they appear perfectly grounded when compared to her. Through a flick of her arm, this woman made a gust of wind with the power of a tornado. Such a monster couldn't coexist among us frail humans for a second.
私？だから吸血鬼だって言ってるじゃない。あれ？もしかしてあなた吸血鬼って単語知らない？ここじゃ一般教養だって聞いたんだけどな。
For such a powerful monster, She's pretty dense, but I can take advantage of this window to force strength into my crumbling limbs. That fight just now led her away from the alley entrance. If I ran with all my might, I may have just shot at escaping. I take a deep breath. What is happening with her now? Just as I'm about to start running, I catch a glimpse of her face. For some reason, I suddenly feel calm again.
おい、どうした？怪我でもしたのか？
怪我なんて、そんなのするわけないでしょ。あんな呪いのにやられるなんて考えたこともないわ。
I mean, dude, you cut her into 17 pieces. I don't think she would get injured like that.
でも、ちょっとまずい展開になってきた。
Maybe she's just like feeling something much more different. Let's say, yeah, she's a vampire, right? Maybe she hasn't eaten anything yet.
こうなったら是が非でも、あなたには盾になってもらわないといけないみたい。
My shield.
は？
That's right, we were just talking about the nonsense. Earlier I thought that she might have been speaking metaphorically about whole meat shield thing, but now I'm not so sure anymore. She sounds dead serious. She actually wants me to act as her shield against panthers and flaming corpses and who knows what else.
バカなこと言うな、このバカ！今の見てたろ。俺に何ができるって言うんだ。お前一人の方がよっぽどマシだろうが。
そうでもないわ。今ので本当に空っぽになっちゃったから。あなたたち風に言うと、生きてるだけで精一杯みたいな。
Is that how it is? It doesn't look like it at all, but I guess, sure. Honestly, I'm half glad what I just saw was a last-ditch effort and not something she could shake out of her sleeve at any time. But that's not the issue here.
精一杯とか言われても困る。そりゃできることなら何でもする。でも無理だ。無理だろ、どう考えても。俺にはあんなのを追い払う力はない。悪いけど盾にだってなれはしない。
嘘よ。あなたは私を殺したのよ。そのあなたがどうしてそんな嘘を言うの？
殺したって、あれは。
When I killed her, it was like I'd lost myself. I would help her if I could, but the kind of help she's asking for is way beyond anything I can do. In that case,
なら私が眠っている間、周りを見張ってくれるだけでいい。
I'll just ask you to stand guard over me as I sleep.
それくらいなら問題ないでしょ。
Okay. So basically, he cannot go home now because, yes, he's gonna guard this vampire. Okay, let me save for a little bit here. Save. I guess we'll choose, we'll help her. Yeah.
俺は
I just can't say no to her request. I killed her. It's my fault that she's weak enough to even seek help from some nobody like me. Besides, we might have only just met, but I get the impression that she's not a bad person.
ねえ、どうなの？人間のあなたとしては、やっぱり吸血鬼である私には協力できない？
そりゃそうだろ。わかってるじゃないか、お前。
Please, don't look at me with those eyes. The guilt will eat me alive if you keep doing that.
けど、乗りかかった船だしな。ここで知らんふりするのも寝覚めが悪いし。
I already know I'll regret this later. But even so,
何より、相手はあの通り魔殺人の犯人なんだろ？なら、この町に住んでる人間として、お前の手助けぐらいしないと罰が当たりそうだ。
it's better than turning a blind eye to her stupidly sincere gaze.
それってつまり。
盾になるのはお断りだけど、見張りぐらいはしてやるってこと。
You saw that? No, when she smiled, like some aura, yeah, was released from her. And she's blushing as well. There she goes again. What's with that expression? If this was a game, I'd be calling a foul. Just look at her coming back from the dead, creating tornadoes, and now this.
よかった。これで契約は成立。
She extends a hand to me.
やっと自己紹介ができるね。私はアルクエイド。長い名前だからアルクエイドだけでいいわ。
Arcuedo. How do you even say that? Arcuade. Hopefully don't forget Arcuade. Arcuade.
神祖って区分けされる吸血鬼だけど、あなたはなんていう人？
A true ancestor? It's what's called a true ancestor. Arcuade. That might be the strangest self-introduction I've ever witnessed. I sigh, either I've accepted my insane reality or I just don't have anything left in me to argue.
当の式。あいにく、ただの学生だよ。前もって言っておくけど、本当に何の役にも立たないからな。
I take the woman's Arcuade's hands. She appears at me intently for a moment. Then she offers her hand again for a shake.
それじゃあよろしくね、シキ。私を殺した責任、ちゃんと取ってもらうんだから。
She grins wickedly, her left hand outstretched. I must be the first and last person in the world to be repaying someone for their own murder, yeah.
ほんと、どうかしてる。
But what else can I do? Against my better judgment, I shake hands with this mysterious vampire, this woman in white. A voice echoes in the darkness. The air is damp, the rotten smell that lingers in the air is eye-wateringly rancid. It's too dark to see a thing. It's driving her into a sensory overload. What is this? She can't remember what happened to her a few minutes ago. Where she is. She feels like she hears the voices of the men in the distance. She feels like she came here of her own volition. If she thinks hard enough, she thinks she remembers taking an elevator. As the elevator descended, she was suddenly struck with a horrible realization that this wasn't just some goofy urban legend, but a dark and dangerous truth she shouldn't have stuck her nose into. Part of her recalls desperately mashing the emergency stop button. But that was then, and then this is now. Humans cannot turn back the clock. Time's arrow is asymmetrical. One may traverse the arrow from left to right, but never reverse. In other words, by the time the girl realized her folly, she was already in hell. During the dark, the girl presses her hand to the wall. Rotting juice coats her fingers. It stinks of spoiled meat. It gives way to her touch. through her tears, she realized it must be a human viscera, but she cannot bring herself to pull away. Her fingers must trace it to find her way forward. There is no other way to navigate this darkness. She can escape the steady footsteps that have been following her for some time now. She has no choice but to follow the path, her expression distraught as her fingernails scrape through the slimy guts. With every step she swears, she hears the metallic cries of something grinding and twisting across itself within the walls. What is happening, man? What?
あんたは人間か。おい、行くな、行かないで。
お母さん、お母さん。
I'll give me a second here. Can we increase the volume of that, people? Okay, we don't have a name for those, I guess.
出して、出して、出して、出して。
It's hard to believe screams like that could come from another human being. The walls are so desperate that they might rupture their throat and lungs, yet these people have long shed any such concerns and now simply howl into the abyss. But there's little that can be done about their bodies now. Limbless, they are suspended from the ceiling like a mass of vagrams. She ignores the pleas of those who are beyond saving and continues to run. She just needs a light. Any light. If she had light, she could escape. There's a goal you have to reach. That's what the men who guided her down here had told her. They laughed when they said it. So there has to be an exit. She believes it's the only way she can save herself. She knows it's a lie, but she needs to cling to hope if she is to maintain any semblance of sanity. She looks behind her. That's right, she knows that she's not alone here. She came here together with her boyfriend. That idiot was the one who suggested it. It's because of him that she agreed it might be fun to try. It's all its fault. She hopes he dies. She hopes he dies soon. She hopes he dies before she does. She hopes his death might lead to her escape. She hopes she'll be the only one saved. She's the special one after all. She didn't do anything wrong, and there's no reason she should be suffering. They should be reserved for those who are stupider than her, those that are dirtier than her, or those who are luckier and more blessed. The faint darkness fades, a blackness dark and deep takes a hold. The girl standing in the middle of it all stares down at her burning body. The appendages she'd used to feel her way along the wall have burned all the way down to her elbows. When she frantically looks at her body, she realizes her clothes have burned away. Her skin turned black and charred, crackling to reveal the sinew and organs hidden beneath. The fat of her flesh sizzles and burns away with flame and red and hot enough to captivate her gaze. Thank goodness, the woman thinks, laughing to herself. Finally, I finally found a light. She cackles, a flaming anatomical model taken with madness. A torch of flesh providing light in the darkness. Then, a sharp stab puts her out of her misery. Her body burns as boiling blood spews from the wound. As if savoring the warmth of her body, it drinks her fresh blood. This hell returns to total darkness. Having finished its minuscule meal, it crosses this masterless hellscape. Behind it are countless corpses, a river of flame indiscriminately swallowing all who wander the wasteland, where they be lost or the cemetery's dead residents. Breath spills from its lips like smoke. It shambles towards the surface, leaving behind a trail of red in its wake like a twisted slug. It craves the prey that its footmen discovered mere moments ago. So this is the evil one, I guess, or the true enemy? That was, yeah. That was very sad. That girl, the way she was screaming, man. My god.
割といい部屋ね。
This is a decent room, right? Decent, dude. This is luxury.
これなら一晩過ごしても文句ないかな。
Arcuade looks like she's enjoying herself as she inspects the hotel room. I have no words for how this day has turned out.
それで、俺は何をすればいいんだよ、具体的に。
とりあえず移動するわ。私の部屋は守りには向かないから。そうね。見晴らしのいい高いところに行きましょうか。
And here we are. Arcuade hailed a taxi on the main street and we drove over to one of the neighboring city districts. From there, we didn't just book a room at one of the most prominent and expensive hotels around, no. Arcuade decided to book the entire top floor just for us. The entire top floor? I mean, she's a vampire, right? So she's probably lived a very, very long life. And she got money, probably, right? I feel like some A-list celebrity.
人間の建築技術ってほんとめきめき向上するわよね。こういうのなんて言うんだっけ？一発千金？日進月歩？まあどっちでもいっか。ほら見て見てシキ、さっきまでいた路地裏があんなにちっちゃくなってる。
Arcuade happily peeks through the shut curtains at the panorama below. I can't say I'm excited as she is. This place feels like less like a hotel room and more like a standalone citadel that happens to be built on the hotel's top floor. From the sun-blocking curtains to the furniture to the materials of the walls and doors, every last bit is grander than anything you'd normally encounter. And since we rented out the entire floor, we won't be seeing any other guests. Upon closer inspection, I noticed there's even a TV screen that displays an active feed of the first floor lobby. No matter where I look, I'm reminded that this room is reserved only for the most privileged of people.
今夜はここに隠れましょう。あ、宿泊費のことは気にしなくていいよ。
It's not...
私お金持ちだから、おごってあげる。
I'm pretty rich. But it's not about the money though. Yeah. Our little sister Akiha is gonna get angry. Arcuade speaks cheerfully as she steps away from the window. As amazed as she seemed by the view a moment ago, it appears she's already grown tired of the bird's eye view of the city.
アルクエイド、お前何考えてるんだ。
An exhausted sigh slips out of me.
何って別にいろいろ考えてるけど。
いや、そういうことじゃなくてだな。男とホテルの一室なんて。
Honestly, didn't sleep in another room, right? She booked the whole top floor, so yeah. I paused before I finished my sentence. I'm only here to watch over this self-proclaimed vampire while she sleeps. I shouldn't say anything that might complicate it even further.
いや、いい。好きにしてくれ。
変な式。いきなり怒ったり黙ったりして予測がつかないね。
Arkaway chuckles as if something hilarious about the situation. Meanwhile, I'm standing near the door, muscles tensed as I keep a watchful eye in the room. Watching her relax, I realize we couldn't be more opposite from one another right now. Fatigue has spread through every inch of my body, so I wish I could rest, but I also know that the second I take a seat on the sofa, I'll doze off. No matter how tired I get, I know better than to let my guard down now.
式、何か飲む？ここ飲み物がたくさんあるみたい。
A carefree voice calls out to me from the minibar. Needless to say, the bottles Arkaway holds up are filled with alcohol.
あのな、未成年のくせに酒を勧め。
I mean, she's not young, she's a vampire technically. I stop. I have no clue whether she's over the legal drinking age or not, and I don't particularly care to find out either.
後で自分で選ぶからいい。それより。
No matter how exhausted I am, no matter how confusing the situation might be, there are some questions I have to ask her. I need to know what she is, and I need to know how much danger I'm in. I can't even afford to sit on the couch if I don't at least attempt to understand all the weird things happening here.
それより、お前に聞きたいことがある。のんびり休むのはその後だ。
構わないけど、どうしたの？急にかしこまって。
You do realize I haven't let my guard down even once around you. But that aside...
真面目な話だよ。結局のところ、お前の目的って何なんだ？
私は吸血鬼を追ってるだけよ。吸血鬼殺しが私の役割だから。
ああ、確かにそんなことを言ってた。けど、お前は吸血鬼なんだろ？
何？仕切ったらまだ私のこと信じてないの？
嫌っていうほど信じてるから安心しろ。俺が言いたいのは、どうして吸血鬼であるお前が吸血鬼を殺すのかってことだ。それおかしいだろ、理屈的に。
Yeah, technically she's a vampire, but she wants to kill another vampire. Why?
あら、四季は同族同士で殺し合うのは嫌いなんだ。
同族じゃなくても願い下げだよ。あのさ、吸血鬼は人間の血を吸う鬼なんだろ？なら殺す対象は人間であって同じ吸血鬼じゃない。お前が殺すのは、その...
Humans, right? The ones whose blood you suck?
吸血行為と殺害行為は別物よ。ま、それでも四季の言いたいことはわかるわ。同じ種族同士、助け合うべきだって言うんでしょ？けど、吸血鬼は同じ親から派生したものであっても、それぞれ異なる進化を遂げた固有種のようなものだから。人間でいうところの仲間意識は希薄なのよ。
じゃあそのお前が探している吸血鬼はお前とは違うっていうのか？え
え、私とは別種の吸血種。 私が追いかけているのは人間の吸血鬼だから、あなたたちが抱くイメージとほぼ一緒よ。人間の血を吸って吸い殺した人間を使い魔にして少しずつ勢力を増やしていくってやつ。朝の使者覚えてるでしょ？あれが吸血鬼に殺された人間の末路。人間として死んだのにまだ死にきれず生かされているリビングデッド。
Okay, zombies.
死んだのに生かされている。
Those corpses I saw in that alley, in stories it said that those who get their blood sucked by vampire or by a vampire get turned into one as well, attacking other humans in turn. That's how they propagate and spread. If this goes unchecked, then a whole town could be turned into a stronghold for the living dead. Would you want that though? I mean, if you're a vampire, for example, would you want to turn a whole, let's say, a whole city into vampires? Probably not, right? Because yeah, you're not gonna get any food anymore if you turn everyone into a vampire. Alright, so yeah.
ええ、この町に潜んでいるのはそういう吸血鬼。
This one is another kind though, yeah. I guess this vampire is like that.
私は血を吸うことに執心はないし、彼らの仲間でもない。だから互いに殺し合うことに問題は発生しない。
Wait, you don't need to drink blood? Arcuade states the words matter of factly. I guess there really are all kinds of vampires out there.
今更でゾッとするんだけど、そいつをやっつけるから俺に盾になれなんてことを言ってやがったのか、お前。
ええ、初めはそのつもりだったわ。あなたなんて嫌がっても盾にしてやる。逃げても鎖で縛り付けて散々怖がらせて使い切ってやるって。けどシキと話をしているうちに気が変わっちゃった。
So she was planning to take me by force. Don't think I'll be forgetting about that.
気が変わったってなんでだよ。
私の勘違いだったから。私ね、シキ。あなたに殺されて復元するまでの間、あなたは教会の人間だと思っていたの。それなら敵の居場所を掴んでいる可能性もあるし、戦力としても期待できるなって。なのに仕切ったらまるっきり普通の人なんだもん。敵の棺の場所はおろか、吸血鬼のことをまるで知らないし。そもそもあの連中がこんな無神論者の国に代行者を派遣するわけがないし、そもそも一人じゃ動かないものね。師匠と弟子のツーマンセルがあいつらの基本だったわ。
Arcuade mutters to herself as she paces around the room. She's gotten so sidetracked, it feels like she's forgotten all about me.
とにかく私の標的はあなたから吸血鬼に戻ったってこと。それはそれでちょっと残念な気もするけど。
She manages to say such a terrifying thing in the cheeriest of voices. She definitely hasn't forgotten what I did to her. I certainly deserve to be despised for murdering her, but it's still bad for my heart to hear her talk so lightly about killing in turn. Maybe she really does intend to kill me the second I let my guard down.
真面目な話は終わり？じゃ、ベッドにドーン！
は？
Before I even get the chance to react, she's off. Arcuade bounces over to the bed and plops down onto the soft mattress.
気持ちもいいし、日が沈むまで眠るね。あ、シキも今のうちに休んでおいた方がいいよ。吸血鬼は昼間活動できないから、本格的に見張りをしてもらうのは夜になるんだし。
Wait, what? Vampires can't move around during daytime, so I don't really need to stand guard till night falls. What?
お前、今自分の存在を全面否定するようなことを言ったって分かってるか？
Yeah, what is she saying?
私はいいの。
Maybe because she said she's a true ancestor, right? So she's basically different than other ones. Yeah, far more different.
と、そろそろ限界みたい。それじゃあおやすみなさい、シキ。日が沈んだら起こしてね。
Like, let's say you have rankings in vampires. Let's say like they're like S class vampires, A class until the lower ones, F class, the grunts.
おい
Arcade falls asleep so abruptly, it's as if someone turned off a car engine.
マジか。
I can hardly believe it, but she's actually asleep. I feel like an idiot for staying next to the door this whole time, in case I needed to run. Is this okay? I mean, I'm the one to talk, but is she really okay with this? I was practically taken here against my will, but now I could just as easily run away. And don't tell me she's forgotten. Even if I don't feel the same impulse now.
俺は一度、お前を殺しているんだぞ。
So how can she doze off like this with me around? I watch her while she's asleep. Peering closely, I notice the slow rise and fall of her chest as she breathes. But other than that, she doesn't move a muscle. It's like I'm looking at a painting. The lids of her eyes are closed in a peaceful rest. Her eyelashes are long and her lips are luscious even without the slightest touch of lipstick. I trace the curve of her plump chest with my eyes. Come on, man. Following the line until it meets the flat of her hips like a heel meets the horizon. Her arms are long and slender. She looks innocent yet sensual all at once, a contradiction I struggle to make sense of. Come on, Shiki. Here she is, vulnerably slumbering away in the hotel's royal suite, trusting me, the person who killed her, to be in the same room with her despite us having only just met.
バカだな、こいつ。
She's so ridiculously trusting and honest, I'm frankly a little worried about her. Either way, this is the time to choose. This may be my last chance to turn back. That woman told me to be her shield, but... Oh, we need to save, I guess. I've had enough of this madness, I'm leaving. I'm done hesitating, I'm staying put. How about we choose this one? Number one feels like it's the wrong answer for sure. I want to see what happens though, yeah. Do we have like bad ends in this game? Probably, right? Because yeah, that's the wrong choice, obviously. I still can't shake my desire to live in the normal world. I feel a sense of responsibility for killing Arcoade, of course, but it doesn't mean I have to accept every restriction she imposes on me. She's still sleeping peacefully, utterly at ease in the presence of the person who murdered her.
くそ。
I just don't understand what she sees in me. There's no reason for me to be here, so what do I have to offer? If I'm ever going to go back to my everyday life, now is the time. I'm actually leaving now. The hallway is as quiet as the grave. Arcoade has booked out the entire floor, so the two of us are the only ones here. Lingering doubts swirl in my mind. I shake them off and press the elevator button. What happens now? Nissan. I take the train back into town. It's just past noon. I could head to school, although I wouldn't get there until 5th period, if I'm lucky. Or I could just go home, crawl into bed, and forget any of this ever happened. But I can't summon the will to go back to the mansion. I decided to go to the park and clear my mind a little. So what is he gonna think about? I heave an exhausted sigh. I sit down on a bench and stare aimlessly up at the sky. It's gray as far as the eyes can see. It is. The leaden clouds reflect my own inner landscape. I wonder if she's still sleeping and never doubting that I'll be there when she wakes. I murdered her and yet she forgave me. She forgave me, so what am I doing here? Sitting on a park bench staring up at nothing. But at the end of the day, I don't want to die. No matter how strongly I might feel in the moment, that's a barrier I can never overcome. Your power is yours and yours alone. But that's why you mustn't forget. Master's words from long ago spring unbidden to mind. What exactly did you tell me again? I still have time. The sun hasn't sunk below the horizon. If I can get back to the hotel before it sets, I can start over now.
くそ。
I can't get rid, or I can't rid myself of these doubts. In the end, how about we go to the mansion? Yeah, let's just continue this. Because what was the point if we left, right, and then we didn't actually leave? I got to prioritize my own life. I recall yesterday's bloodbath, back when the air was rich with the smell of death and blood. I don't want to see such a scene ever again, but if I stick around Arcuade, it's all but inevitable that I'll be exposed to that kind of thing again. I don't want that to happen, so I should return to the safety of the mansion. There's just one big flaw in my decision though. I'm well aware of what it is. I'm even conscious that this is wrong of me as a person. I force those thoughts out. I'm not running away. That's what I keep telling myself as I head on home.
屋敷に戻ろう。そうすればきっと。
Night will fall and all this weird stuff will be resolved somewhere far away from me.
そこの人、ちょっといいですか?
Wait, who's this?
え?
This sounds like the girl we met. Remember the alley? Yeah, it's the alley girl. Yeah, it sounds like her. It is her, I mean. Just as I'm about to get up from the bench, a voice calls out from behind me.
ほっといてもいいんですけど、あんまりにも情けない顔してるので。
Yeah, this girl's definitely been following us though. It's a girl I think I've never seen before, yet she somehow strikes me as oddly familiar because you saw her. She was in the alley, she asked you for 100 yen. I'd wager she's a middle schooler, but she's not wearing a uniform. Looks like I'm not the only one skipping school today.
情けないって何が？
顔、粘土みたいな色してます。人って死ぬときはそういう顔するんですよね。
Hey, don't tell me she's gonna kill our boy here. If she's trying to crack a joke, it's not a very good one. I can't even grace her response with a laugh. But the girl doesn't look at all fazed by my silent consternation.
冗談じゃなくて、今のは経験談です。知り合いのじいちゃん、そんな顔色から3時間もしたら呼吸止まっちゃって。救急車、呼べばまだ助かったかも。なので。
The girl doesn't get any closer than this. She neatly observes from a meter of distance between the two of us.
救急車、呼びます。 なら携帯貸してください。私のは使いたくないんで。
I let out a sigh of relief at her unexpected offer. She's right, I feel terrible right about now, though I hadn't noticed. But as I'm suddenly brought back into normality, I start feeling better and my breathing stabilizes.
いや、大丈夫。ちょっとした貧血だからすぐ収まる。でも、声をかけてくれてありがとう。助かった。
そうっすか。じゃあ、私はこれで。体調、ずっと悪いんですか？
The girl looked like she was ready to leave, but then she followed up with a strange question.
まあ、生まれつきかな。子供の頃から少し運動するとめまいがするんだ。
じゃあ犬とかダメですね。遊びに付き合ってあげられないし。
いや、散歩くらいは問題ないけど。
It's not like I have any particular desire to own a dog, but the assertion that I couldn't fills me with sadness.
散歩とか。顔色まだ悪いですよ。早く家に帰ってお休みすることをお勧めします。
The girl leaves.
あれ？
For whatever reason, when I watch her leave, I got the impression that she was actually in poorer health than I am. Okay, we're going back. Ultimately, I took some time or more time to rest up in the park before heading home. With the sun nowhere to be found, the streets are already shrouded in darkness. It's already after 7 o'clock. The gates to the mansion will close at 8, so I should hurry if I don't want to receive a scolding from Akiya. It's very silent. As usual, there is no one on the road surrounding the mansion. The sun has only just set, but it's so quiet, you'd think it was well past midnight.
そういえば、ここって。
This is where I went that night when the dog was keeping me awake. A lump of blackened meat drops down in front of my eyes. Oh no. The zombies. My blood runs cold. Why are they here? Flutters through my mind. Isn't it obvious? Follows at its heels. Arcade wasn't the only one they saw back in the alley. There was a human with her too, and it was me. I tried so hard to ignore the obvious truth. Instinct finally catches up and I reach for my knife. I back away, keeping my eyes on the dead that have emerged from the forest at the edge of the road. Then... That's strange. Suddenly everything around me turns bright red. There's a screaming. It sounds like it's coming from somewhere nearby. My body jerks and writhes with pain like a wound of spring is set loose. I keep twitching and squinting. My body, my vision, my world, all of it flashes in and out of view like an ambulance emergency lights. Screaming, screaming, so much screaming. It's like the sound is coming from my own mouth. I mean, you're burning, sir. Oh, someone is standing before him. I drop onto the ground with a thud. I can't move my limbs. There's not in any state to be moved. All that remains is the pain that sears through my eyeballs. Who is that though? It's the same guy. Yeah, the guy we just saw earlier. Or just in the beginning, I guess, right? Not in the beginning, but yeah, a couple, I guess, scenes earlier. The low voice sounds muffled. Pools of grease make popping noises on the heated asphalt. Yet even until his final moment, Shikitsuno never realized the sound that came from his own oozing filth. And we actually got a dead end. Okay. Wait, was this teach me? Teach me. Miss Ciel. I mean, yes. What is this?
こんにちは。突然のデッドエンド、驚かれましたか?
Okay. This kind of feels like in Mahoyo, in The Witch and the Holy Night. What do you call it again? The Wonderful World of Ploys. Yeah, it kind of feels like that.
迷える遠野くんを正しいエンディングまで導く救済コーナー。
Lost Shikis and guide them to the right end.
教えて、シエル先生にようこそ。教官のシエルです。マジかよ。タイトルじゃ先生なのに教官とはこれいかに。まあ、そういう細かいところはどうでもいいという精神は私を見てもらえばわかると思う。こんにちは。バッドエンド界のソムリエクイーン。セクシーすぎて本編で気になった猫アルクです。
Neko Arc. So, Cat Arcoade, is that it? Neko Arc?
こういう大人のコーナーは初めてかい。まあ第1回だから初めてだろうけど落ち着けよ。こちらの生き物は無視してもらって構いません。基本私の発言だけ教訓としていただければ。では今回の死因の検証ですが、早速燃えてますな、メガネくん。道端でヒューマントーチはロックすぎにゃい？なんでこんなことになってんだ、シエル。この町、道に地雷でも埋まってんの？それはもちろん、目撃されたのに一人で出歩いてしまったからですね。あんな能天気な吸血鬼と一緒の部屋にいられるか。俺は実家に帰らせてもらう。という気持ちは痛いほどわかりますが、ここはぐっと我慢の子。巻き込まれてしまったとはいえ、遠野くんはもう関係者なのです。当面の敵、吸血鬼を何とかするまでお家に帰ってはいけません。一旦外に出てもまだ最後のチャンスがあったでしょ。そのあたりでホテルに戻ってしまうのがよろしいかと。
The Shiki, right? Yeah.
途中で逃げたのに戻るとか、ヒロインの好感度が下がってたら恥ずかしいし。
Our affection points with arc take a hit.
バンバン下げましょう。むしろ全編塩対応でお願いします。だってこの吸血鬼、恐ろしいことに遠野くんが何言っても好感度下がりませんからね。そんなことないと思うけどにゃ。怒るときは怒るよ。でもほら、怒鳴ってる時の必死な感じがたまんないっていうか。 ほら見なさい。恋愛脳の自覚ないんですか？同じヒロインでも最後までクールに振る舞い仕事に生きるヒロインを見習ってほしいものです。え？
This broad's got some kind of nerve.
え？
Did I say something strange? Oh god, she might be serious. Okay, actually kicked us out of the game. Okay. So I guess we gotta load it for next time. I guess we'll take a break here for now, and yeah, I guess we got a glimpse of our like the enemy of this. I guess this game, right? So we got Arcuade, we got her name now. We're gonna be her shield. And yeah, it was very creepy, very sad earlier when we were seeing scenes, I guess, on how this enemy of ours, or what he's doing to the normal people, right? The girl screaming earlier, it was ugh. And then she burned up. That was sad, like really sad. So anyways, I guess, yeah, we'll see what happens. So we are gonna continue this and do more of Tsukihime, A Piece of Blue Glass Moon in the next one. So I'll just see you then, guys. Bye bye.